Okay. So, unfortunately, everybody, all of you Ice fans out there, I got some bad news. The person who was put in charge of Ice, he's feeling a little stressed out. He loves it, but it's like, it's a lot of work for him. And so he's actually been hospitalized twice over stress. Yeah, I know, everybody. We all feel so bad for him. Um, I I I mean, nobody, I think I've said this before. Nobody said that enacting a like white nativist like vision for our country of like throwing as many brown people into concentration camps as possible was going to be easy. Like this is a tough thing to do. Uh if you want to take literally every brown person you can possibly find and throw them into slave labor camps in like both El Salvador or just locally, like into our slave labor camps that we have set up for all of these migrants. It can be really tough on you. So let's go ahead and read this article. This is exclusive. Visibly upset and struggling, acting ICE head hospitalized twice over stress, officials say. Okay. This is by Daniel Lipman. Several current and former officials blame intense pressure from the White House. Ooh, Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is slithering on up to you and being like, more, more brown people. That's how I envision Stephen Miller talks. Okay. Acting head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement Todd Lyons has been hospitalized at least twice for stress-related issues as he has carried out President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration agenda, strain that has caused him to struggle to make key decisions for the agency, according to two current and two former administration officials. Aw, baby needs a little time out. He needs a little respite. It's hard, everybody. We should all feel bad for him. The hospitalizations took place over the last 7 months. In one incident in December, Leon's security detail drove him to a hospital in Washington, and he was admitted overnight, according to one former and two current administration officials. During an episode in September, the three people said Leon's was hospitalized for at least one night. You know why I definitely don't feel bad for him after this? Do you know how fucking expensive it is to stay overnight at a hospital? One time my wife had like an issue where like she had like passed out and we thought it might be something, so we went to the hospital and they asked us if we wanted to stay overnight and we were like, oh, maybe we should, just to keep an eye on you. And then they told us it would be like, I don't know, like $3,000 or something. We're like, okay, nope. Nope, we'll take our chances. So yeah, this guy, I'm sure my tax dollars are personally paying for him to have his nice little hospital stays. But anyway, in separate incident in LA over the summer, Leon's became so distressed when ICE agents couldn't locate a migrant on their target list after a ride along with top administration officials that one of Leon's became so distressed when ICE agents couldn't locate a migrant on their target list after a ride along with top administration officials that one of his bodyguards took a portable defibrillator from a nearby government office to Leon's in case he needed medical intervention, according to one current and one former official. A defibrillator? Did you think he was gonna fucking die? He was gonna die from being like stressed out from, I don't know, like taking like 5-year-old Mexican kids and like ripping them by like dragging them across the ground by their hair or whatever. Like, is that he was gonna like fucking die from that, like from being so stressed out? That's insane. During these episodes, the current and former officials said they saw Leon's break out into a full sweat, with his face turning deep red. They also attributed the source of the pressure to ramp up deportations to the White House and top advisor Stephen Miller. How did I guess that one, people? One of the most evil people in the administration, and that's saying something. Who yelled at Leon's during morning phone calls with administration officials, according to 4 people who were on the calls. That little fucking dweeb yelling, seriously, like, I would just punch him in the fucking face. Like, he's like 80 pounds. Like, he's tiny. Like, right? Am I wrong? What? Well, he's 5'10". So I guess that would make me tiny too, because I'm also 5'10". Let's see if there's Stephen Miller picture. God, he looks like such a fucking loser, dude. Where do we go? Where do we go? Full body. Oh God, what's that gonna show me? Okay, this one will do. This one will do. Come on, man. If this dweeb, if this fucking loser right here, like yelled at you, are you serious? You're gonna take that shit? Look at him. Look at him. Just punch him in the fucking face. Look at him. He's such a fucking dweeb. And yeah, he is like pretty tiny too. Like I think that you would I assume this Leon's guy is bigger than him because I don't think it would take that much. But yeah. He definitely ironically Stephen Miller did not win the genetic lottery, both in terms of hair and in terms of like body frame. Anyway, okay, let's continue. Sorry, I'm doing that thing where I make fun of people's appearance too much, but he deserves it. Who yelled at Leon's during morning phone calls with administration officials, according to 4 people who were on the calls. Other officials disputed that Miller's yelled at Leon's, with one saying the deputy chief of staff was merely passionate. Miller did not respond to a request for comment, but the attempt to blame Miller is the latest example of continued infighting among administration figures over immigration policy, even after former DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and some of her aides have departed the agency. Yeah, I mean, infighting is like a very like common occurrence in a fascist regime. It happens all the time. Because there's different different goals within the regime to like Stephen Miller, obviously he has a vision of a total and complete like Hitler style like migrant agenda, right, where you throw as many immigrants as you possibly can into slave labor camps, you work them to death, and then you put them on a death march and kill them all. Like that is his goal. That doesn't necessarily always align with every single person in the fascist administration. Some of them are not like, 100% on board for that agenda. Some of them are just like 85% on board. You know what I'm saying? Okay, one sec. Okay. He would be visibly upset and struggling to make the decisions that were needed to be made by the director, said one of the former officials, referring to Leon's. One current official and 2 former officials also said that Leon's often takes a long time making decisions, forcing his deputies to have to do more work. All 4 people witnessed or were briefed in an official capacity on at least one of the stress-related episodes. Each was granted anonymity because they weren't authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Yeah, he's like, don't tell anybody that I like fainted like a little bitch or whatever. Asked about the incidents, Leon said in a statement, the stress he experienced wasn't due to the White House. He did not address the hospitalizations. Since the beginning of this administration, I have worked night and day, all day, every day to undo the harms Joe Biden has caused to the American people. Ah, yes, blame the previous guy. Any stress is in no way related to pressure from the White House, and nothing will get in the way of me doing my job. It sounds like it kind of is, to be honest. Lauren Biss, a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, said in a statement that Leon's has a great relationship with Stephen Miller and the entire White House team. That's like, don't tell people that. Like Steve. Yeah, you don't want to tell people that you have a great relationship with Stephen Miller. Like, that's a recipe for getting punched in the face. They have worked together closely to fulfill the president's mandate from the American people to remove public safety threats from our community. By public safety threats, they just mean brown people. This added, fixing the crisis caused by the previous administration of letting millions of illegal aliens into our country and jumpstarting an agency that was not allowed to do their job for 4 years is no easy task. She also noted that Lyons has helped deport more than 700,000 unauthorized immigrants during his time as director. The administration has been slow to publish the data to back up those figures, according to the Associated Press. Yeah, to some extent, they're just lying. A lot of this is like just overstating. Yeah. Also, everybody, all my MAGA chuds out there, how much better is your life now, right? How much better is your life out there, MAGA chuds? Do you feel like you're, like you're getting those raises you deserve? Do you feel like you're able to afford your health care now that all these migrants have been violently purged from our country? How are you feeling out there? You must be feeling pretty great, right? Your life isn't like just as bad, if not worse, than when President Trump took charge. Am I wrong? If I'm right, if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. Leave a comment. Lyons, who first joined ICE as an immigration enforcement agent in 2007, has steadily climbed the ranks of the agency and now oversees tens of billions of dollars and almost 28,000 employees as he carries out Trump's goal of deporting 3,000 immigrants a day. Insane to put a number on it. You should just be saying we're trying to deport as many violent migrants or whatever for a messaging, like from a messaging perspective. Trying to hit a quota of brown people that you're trying to abduct and throw in like black bag into a van and toss over the border is doesn't really look that good, in my opinion. Despite that target, ICE arrest tally has only hit a daily average of 1,100 this year. That's still a lot. Okay, one sec. Ooh, still a little bit to go. As the top ICE official, Lyons has come under intense scrutiny by Democratic lawmakers and the judiciary, especially after federal officers fatally shot two Americans, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Rest in power, American heroes. Nobody forget their names. Earlier this year in Minneapolis, that's coming from me also, who's terrible at names, but they will be remembered as American heroes, and that's something that they should, if there is a heaven, I hope that they can see that and know that. State and local authorities are investigating both shootings, while the Justice Department has opened a civil rights probe into Praise killing but not good, saying it wasn't warranted. In January, a federal judge ordered Lyons to appear before him and threatened to hold him in contempt for allegedly reporting repeatedly defying judges' orders amid Operation Metro Surge, the major immigration enforcement action in Minnesota. As we are learning very often, laws are just suggestions. If there is no enforcement mechanism, laws are just suggestions. So that's why don't rely on our judicial system to come and save us. You need to do what they did in Minneapolis and organize. If you organize enough, they'll tuck their tail and run like they did there. The contempt hearing was later canceled. In February, Democratic lawmakers pressed Lyons on his leadership, with Rep. Eric Swalwell of California telling the ICE head, "Since you've been on this job, women have been dragged by their hair through our streets. A 6-year-old child battling stage 4 cancer has been deported. And it turns out he was a U.S. citizen. People are running through fields where they work." Yeah, that's because their goal is to terrorize all brown people. It's not just immigrants. Like they're starting with immigrants because they find that as an entry point to the issue. But their goal is to terrorize all brown people and eventually all just anybody who like disagrees with the administration. Like that's the end result. So Lyons defended federal immigration agents when he testified before Congress, saying that he backed their tactics and accused elected officials and protesters of escalating rhetoric that endangered his officers. Who gives a shit? They're fucking federal employees. My tax dollars pay for them. So yeah, if I want to yell at them, I'm going to fucking yell at them. If I want to threaten them, I'm going to fucking threaten them. Because in the end, they are my employee. They're my bitch. So I can do whatever the fuck I want with them. That's my opinion on ICE. Let me send a message to anyone who thinks they can intimidate us. You will fail, except in Minneapolis, where they successfully intimidated you and all of your fascist goons to tuck your tails between your legs and run away like the little bitches that you fucking are. Miller, Trump's deputy chief of staff and key architect of the White House's immigration strategy, regularly and aggressively grills Lyons and other officials during daily 10 a.m. administration phone call, according to 2 concurrent and 2 former administration officials who have been on the calls. They said Miller yelled at Lyons for low deportation numbers or over tactical and strategic disagreements, and the ICE head usually responds by apologizing and promising to address the issues because he is also a little bitch. That's going to create some significant psychological pressure, one of the current officials said. Yeah, for little bitches. Sorry, okay, I'll stop calling them all little bitches. I think that it's okay. Everybody should just assume at this point, that everyone who works at ICE are little bitches. After heated calls, Lyons told colleagues that he hated getting shouted at and expressed frustration that the White House was often mad at his agency, according to the current official and former officials who heard such comments. Todd, Stephen, and the entire White House team have a great working relationship and coordinate closely to deliver on the president's many promises, White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson said in a statement. Todd Lyons is an American patriot who has worked tirelessly to undo Biden's disastrous immigration policies that wreaked havoc on American communities. Glad you also got the talking points. I love hearing the same people, or like everybody, say the exact same fucking thing over and over again. After Politico asked the White House about the reporting, the press office arranged interviews with 3 additional senior administration officials on the condition of anonymity who are regularly on the calls. They disputed that Miller yells at Lyons in some of the calls to a heated business meeting, if you will, where the host isn't putting up with any BS and asking a lot of questions. Okay. It is very much a high level of accountability, said the third. Yeah, it just sounds like Stephen Miller is just a whiny little bitch. Like, he is the worst fucking boss. He is like, have you guys ever had like an insecure boss, like a boss who, like a manager or whatever, who didn't really feel like they belonged, or like who really didn't feel like they, like they had to overcompensate a lot, right? For being like small or weak or short or having a funny voice or whatever, right? Like, have you ever had a manager like that? Because that's the vibe that I'm getting from Stephen Miller. I think that he just recognizes that, as many white supremacists do or whatever, that he was not gifted genetically. Like, he's a 5'10", 140-pound little dweeb, right? And so, like, I think that he really overcompensates when he gets any position of power, like a kind of Napoleon complex. And so that's probably what's going on here to some extent. The saddest thing, though, is like the level of cucked that this fucking dude is, that he's defending Stephen Miller. That is pathetic. Let's see. It is very much, I think I read that part. 2 of the officials provided by the White House also said that Lyons complained to them a number of times that Corey Lewandowski, who was the top advisor to Noam, also sometimes yelled at him on a daily 7 a.m. call. Yeah, he just sounds like he's fucking cucked to these people, dude. This is sad. One of the current administration officials who witnessed some of Lyons' episodes and an additional former administration official who have been on those calls disputed that Lyons would feel excessive stress from the 7 a.m. calls. Lewandowski declined to comment on the 7 a.m. call. Since Trump took office for a second term, he has shaken up the personnel at both ICE and DHS. A month into Trump's term, ICE acting director Caleb Vitello was moved to a different role and ultimately replaced by Lyons. The agency's leadership in cities, including ultimately replaced by Lyons. The agency's leadership in cities, including Portland, Denver, and LA, were removed in the fall. More recently, the White House moved from former Border Patrol leader Greg Bovino from leading the immigration surge in Minnesota after the killings of Preddy and Good back to California. And Trump replaced Noam with former Oklahoma GOP Senator Markwayne Mullin. Yeah, going from 100% fascist to like 60% fascist. Okay, great. It's still, moving the country in the direction of fascism. Among many other agencies, Mullin is now overseeing ICE that has seen a gusher of cash from Trump's mega bill last summer that has made it the most well-resourced federal law enforcement agency in the government. Yeah, that is obviously like, there's a reason that they're doing this. Like, it's going to be used like the same way that the Gestapo was used in the past. It's going to be used to crush dissent, especially as his presidency becomes even less and less popular. At this point, like, he's at like a 33% approval rate or something I saw in a recent poll. So, they'll be there to help stamp out the protests, I'm sure. The day that bill passed, the ICE director's job did not look the way that it ever did before, said one of the former administration officials who witnessed Lyons' stress incidents. Speaking about Lyons, the person added he had resources to do anything he wanted, and he was stuck in the same orbit that he had always been in and was tasked with this new massive mission, and that was very different than what he was used to before. Um, Sounds like he is just a little fucking bitch. Am I right, people? Am I right? I think he's a little fucking bitch. Um, if you allow yourself to be yelled at by fucking Stephen Miller, like, yeah, you're a fucking bitch. You're a cuck. You're a loser. I'm sorry. If you don't like instinctively punch him in the goddamn face every time he tries to even talk like the slightest amount of shit about you, like seriously, you are a fucking bitch. And so yeah, sorry, bud. Like, I'm sorry that your job of uh causing as much pain and suffering to brown people as you possibly can is stressing you out, and you've ended up in the hospital a couple times on my fucking tax time. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, no, fuck you, go to hell. Same with all of your bosses. Don't worry. If you, hey, dude, if Stephen Miller and I ever cross paths, yeah, you can, maybe you can smile a sigh of relief, because I will be unable to restrain myself from punching him in the face. So you can like smirk under your breath when that happens. Okay.